Everything you see today is an attack on the three primary institutions that God ordained within 9 chapters of the first book of the Bible. There is an attack on the church, there is an attack on marriage, there's an attack on government.
I see these Home Depot commercials, and I haven't been to Home Depot in a while, but in the commercials you see all the women doing the shopping for refrigerators for
Oh,
all
yeah.
this, and
And letting the husband know which one's the best one.
right, and
Because every one of them are refrigerator repair women.
and so yeah, so you see this domino effect of this subtle attack on the marriage through that, where the men have been dumbed down, the women have been elevated, which is against what the institution that God has called us to be, the priest of the home, and the woman to come and be a helper of the home. And I've seen recently, you guys, that even in that domino effect where the male seems to be dumbed down a little bit, that carries over into the marriage where they don't feel like they're good enough. And then especially in a time right now when maybe they're laid off and they're not bringing home the income, that even hits them harder. So now you see this domino effect of the esteem of a male or the man in the marriage being brought down. And you can see it's an attack from the enemy. How you see this little by little, the Satan's coming on and ripping off the foundation of what the institution of marriage is. And how have you, even as a couple, have you safeguarded against that?
I know who I am. I read the Bible. When you read the Bible and you see how God's word speaks to men, I just try to apply it to myself, and we together try to do that. It's not that complicated. I think that every marriage has their own way of putting into practice the commands of the Lord. What it looks like in my marriage may not look identical to how it looks in yours. Because you are married to Liv, I'm married to Marie, and we adjust to each other's differences, and I know how to exercise authority with her in a way that perhaps another husband with his wife has a different technique or a different way. There's nothing, I don't know any way that's the right way for everybody. But if you know your role, if you know what you are, who you are, and you seek the Lord about how I might be able to fulfill this, how do I do this in such a way that Christ is honored and our marriage is blessed. If you look at it that way and you take into consideration your wife is, from a man's perspective, my wife's personality, what shows the most respect for her, the most love for her, while at the same time helping us together to decide what is best for us, and that's where it comes in. Because I think some men, I've met them, think that leading is basically telling the wife, this is what you're going to do, and it doesn't work that way.
Would that work? That wouldn't work here?
No.
No, it would not
Absolutely
work. No.
No.
No, of course it wouldn't, because I'm not respecting a woman who is created in the image of God, and I'm not regarding her gifts, and I'm not regarding her as a person. I'm not valuing her as God's daughter. I'm denying all of those things, and I'm becoming a bully. I don't want to be that bully. I want to be the one that she regards. I want to be the one that she respects as a man who loves her and puts her first. And because in the putting of her first, it doesn't mean I'm putting any sinful desires she might have. Oh, I'm going to go spend money and buy this when we can't afford it, or I'm going to do that. I'm going out with the girls on Friday and you're going to babysit. None of that's going to work with me. And she knows that, But how did she learn that? How did she learn those things will not work? Because there are plenty of women who just do just what I
They
said.
just do it, right?
They just go out. I'm gone for the weekend. We're going to go to a spa, and I put money aside. I didn't let you know because I knew you'd get mad. But we have it, and there's nothing really you can say because I'm going because I'm tired. There are plenty of marriages like that, and you can reverse that. I hear ladies right now complaining in their own heart, well, you men do that too. And see, that's part of the problem. We're always trying to say, they did it too. The point I'm making, it's real simple, is that if you love one another, regard one another, if you respect one another, if you want to build one another up, if you see each other as a one another, and you treat one another the way you would be treated, like Jesus taught us in what is called the Golden Rule, if you do those things, then you're going to be able to work together. So I don't have to tell Marie, you're going to do this and you're not. That it's not that she won't. By the way, I mean, she will. She will, because she submits us unto God, and she will do it. But if I try that, I'll lose her love and respect. I would rather just say, honey, this is what I see, and I really feel we need to do this. And what do you think about that? Because we will talk, and she can tell you this. So, honey, I'm thinking we need to do this. But you know what? I don't want to decide this on my own. We need to decide this together. You know, we just recently, I'll give you an example. We just recently, as you know, took a long road trip. We drove from here all the way to the state of Washington and all the way back. It was over 2,000 miles of driving over 11 days of being gone, you know. And I didn't just walk in one day and say, well, you know, I don't feel like standing in line at airports and all the garbage we're going to have to go through. I didn't do that. You know, I said to her, honey, I'm considering something, but without your awareness and your input, I won't do it. And that's how I did it. So I said, so I am considering driving, and we can spend time together. We haven't had any time together for a while now. Randy and Jeanette Walls, perhaps they can go with us, and I think I'd like to consider that. What do you think? That's what I do with Marie. Why? Because she's going to invest 11 days of her life in a car. You know, it's not just me driving. It's her in a car for 11 days. And I'm not going to do that without her saying, I think that'd be great. Now, I was planning on doing that. I thought it was the best thing, but I'm not going to do that without her willing heart. And I think that that doesn't show me to be a weak man. It shows a bit of just understanding of my wife, dwelling with her according to knowledge, knowing the things that matter to her. And that's where I think husbands need to learn some things, some husbands, and how to present their ideas. And that's where some women need to begin to learn how to listen to ideas like that and be willing to sacrifice for the good of both of us. Because there are quite a number of men who will not sacrifice for the good of us. And there are quite a number of women who refuse to sacrifice for the good of us. And the selfishness that sometimes is so there, those are the things that have to die. So when I tell Maria, honey, I'm tired and I don't want to go through that, that immediately makes her think, how can I minister to my husband?
It's true.
You know, what can I do to make him more comfortable? And yet at the same time, when I say, but I don't want to do anything without you saying this would be a good thing for us, that frees her up. Because if Marie said, honey, you know, to be honest with you, I was thinking I have to do this, then I just said, we'll fly. For her sake. Because she needs to do something.
For the sake of you both.
For us.
For us.
It's
for
always
you guys.
us.
Yeah.
It's always us.
I
It's
think
never me. It's
that's
always
where
us.
people, I think, really fall short, because it's not the two has become one now. It's the one has become two. They have it backwards, and it's not for the greater good of us. It's for the greater good of me. That's such a important principle and application that is so practical, and that really would fight off the attacks of the enemy, because isolating one another is his tactic. If I can isolate the husband from the wife, the battle's half won, right?
Absolutely, you're right.
Yeah.
If a house is divided, it cannot stand.
Right.
It's doomed to fall. So Marie and I, we do really practice this, John. It's what we do. It's always us. It's never a you or me. It's always an us. This is how it affects the Rosaleses. This is how it affects David and Marie and David.
It's not Pastor David
No.
only, Marie only. It's Pastor David
us.
and Marie. Yeah.
It's always us. Yeah, it's always us.
We enjoy being together. We are always together. When he leaves here, you know, he'll come home to me, and we'll have dinner and enjoy ourselves. And it is us.
us.
It's us all the time. We'll go to the store together, go get coffee together.
Drive to Washington together.
Drive to Washington together.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there are people who can't do that, John. You know that.
Yeah.
They can't stay in the car together like that. It's just too. No, they can't. They have nothing to talk about. Yeah, they have nothing to talk about because Marie and I have a running conversation. Is what it is.
Yes, we do.
I mean, we've been talking together since our first date.
Yes.
That's the truth.
That's
I
how it
mean,
started.
that's how it
Mhm.
started. We talked for 11 hours. Our first date. Yeah. Yeah, we just like each other. You know, I like talking to her, and she apparently likes listening to me. That's how it works.
Yes.
It's always been that way. We've never been any different. We didn't have to learn. I wasn't this guy who said, "What is interesting to you? It's interesting to me now." I'm not that guy. It was like, if, this is what's interesting to me, and if you like it, good. If you don't, I'll find somebody who does. You know. And with Marie, it was like, for some reason, she goes, "Oh, that's interesting." So
That's right.
it's just us, you know. So we've got all these years of building on the us, so we can be stuck in a car together for all those days, hours upon hours, and we enjoy it. It's not like, gosh, I got to drive another 8 hours a day.
Right.
It's not like that.
Well, you know, when we're on our way to Israel, I was sitting next to you guys, but on our way back, yes, it's a constant ongoing dialogue that you guys have. When
Yeah,
we go,
you've seen that.
yeah, and it's good to see that, because yeah, you're right. There's people I know, even that I know well, that they couldn't be in a car 2 hours together, you know,
And
so-
we can also sit next to each other for 2 hours
and
not
still be
talk.
good.
That's
Yeah,
right.
And that's their word.
right.
yeah,
Yeah, we do that too.
and it's good, right? I mean, it's
Yes.
like
Oh, yeah.
we feel closer than saying all these words. I mean, it just, there's that connection ongoing that is beneath the conversation. It's the connection.
Well, when we fly, there's sometimes the seats aren't as close to each other as we like it to be, and it bugs us because she'll
does.
tell me, she'll say,
go.
she'll go, I can't really talk to you.
Because they kind of twist
They
them.
turn them that
Okay.
way,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
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 And I don't like that.
We like to be shoulder
Yeah,
to
I
shoulder.
like to-
We do.
Yeah.
Other people get congested. I don't. I actually, the way I'm sitting with her right now, I'm very comfortable like that. You know, we're always pretty much like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who we are.
And that's part of, again, the us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
it's
part
all
of the
about
us.
us.